So guys, people in troubleshooting like TCP dump, we discuss one tool. Now there are some login mechanism also where you can troubleshoot what's happening with your, whether any pool member is flapping or any virtual server is flapping, or let's say Mr. Ishwar asked like how to identify whether it's an RMA failures or something that can also be determined from logs also sometimes. So login is the log file which contains about all the event that occurs. So there are two types of logins which are available in F5 LTM. One is local login and one is remote login, which is called syslog. So every F5 has a capacity of logs, right? It can save up to 1 GB logs. So if that got filled, then it will auto rotate, it will delete the logs. So log files generally tells you what is happening inside your F5. It will identify on an RCA, let's say some issue is happening, your pool members are flapping. So you need to go to your local login, go to /where/log then LTM and check what is the thing is it's happening. So it also captures your system logs. Let's say your F5 box got rebooted. You want to check logs of that. That also can be checked through log. So log messages basically tell you what are the events which are happening on F5. Either it can be reboot events of an F5, either it can be HA failure, let's say HA is not building up, or it can be related to uptime, or it can be related to failover. Let's say some failover happened. So you need to check why the failover happened. Or it can be your system logs. Maybe any process get failed. That can also be checked. Or your pool member gets flapped. That can also be checked from local logs. So guys, by default, big IP stores or F5 store logs in var log directory. So that is why I am showing you. So when I go here in putty, I'm just increasing my size. So when I go here, first of all, I will just say cd. Now I will go again into cd/var/log. How to jump? Now I will say ls-l, which will list all my logs file. So guys, you can see there can be audit logs, there can be LTM logs, which I was talking about. There can be kernel related logs, TMM. So TMM is basically your traffic management logs, which is a microkernel logs. Operating system logs are stored here. Data logs like pool member flappings are stored in this file. LTM.1. So these are the old files. So basically F5 stores, let's say I want to see logs, all logs greater than 10 days. So I will go to that date. Let's say I want to see the logs for 22nd of May. So every day this file gets rotated, right? Depends on your size of your login server. So there are some files like LTM, LTM.1.gz, LTM.2.gz. So that is how it is stored, like LTM.7. Total 8 files, depends on the login server. So how to open this file? Let's say I want to open this file. It cannot be opened like this, cat LTM.2.gz. It cannot open like that. So this is an compressed file. So this can be open only with jet cat LTM.2.gz. So see, it is giving me all the logs, whether pool members are fappening, SSL handshake, virtual server is down, So this is rotational file. Let's say today I can see cat LTM. Okay, cat LTM I can see. But this is for today, May 29th. I want to see logs of 22nd of May. So I will run this file ls-l. I will go to this and see. I want to see 21st of May. So I will just open this, copy this, and I will see jet cat. So see, it will give me logs greater than 15 days, 20 days, depends on your size of your local login. Very, very important, guys. So all the logs are stored in this directory /var/log. Let's say I want to see kernel logs. So where is the kernel file stored? It is stored in this kernel.log. Cat. So these are related to kernel. Generally, it will not benefit you because you are from operations or design. So that is all about kernel. Operating system related logs will be found here. Now I want to see TMM related logs. So I will go here, cat TMM. I want to see any VLAN dropping happening, any flag happening. So that is all about your, see, if any licensing is errors or any error, that is all comes under your TMM block. So that is called traffic management microkernel. So for you, the most important thing is this file, cat LTM. So this file will help you to identify what is happening on your virtual server and pool level. So that is how you can identify. Now guys, let's say this login file does not have a capacity to store logs. My customer wants to see 3 months back logs. My customer says that I want to see 3 months logs. So that can be stored in remote login. So you want to configure Splunk or any remote syslog server. So how to configure that? In that case, you need to identify remote login and it will use your management interface to send the log. So how you can configure that? Let's talk about that. That is important, guys. So how to store logs in remote location so that it can identify. So let's see that. So I will go to system tab, logs, and there is one file configuration and there is remote login. So here you need to define the Splunk server. Let's say I want to send all logs to Splunk. So that is where you can send it. Very, very important, guys. How to send logs to remote server. Why it is needed? Because F5 only stores logs limited, right? Local logs can only store logs made to 30 days. But customer wants 3 months old logs that you cannot get from here, guys. For that, you need a remote login. And remote login can be your server, Splunk server, archives, many things are there. IBM R site, there are many things. And which port they generally use? UDP 514. Okay, so that is very, very important. So you need to identify where the logs are storing. So that is how you can identify. So now if I have a remote server, let's say my remote server is 1.1.1.1. So I can just add it. So now all the logs will go here in my remote login. So that is how you can configure remote syslog server. All local login will be stored in where log. But now I have transferred all my logs of LTM box will go to this server. Now you can ask your server team to send the logs. So let's say my customer came in and he wants to see some logs. So you can ask them, hey, I want to see the logs. Can you give me logs of this month? Then they will help you to provide that. So that is called remote syslog server. See, a big IP allowed to log the events in remote log syslog server also. So you can also configure which type of logs, who can see the logs file. That we will discuss in user, right? I don't want my auditor to see the logs. So user define you can ignore, I will tell the later on. So that is how it is stored. So local logs basically provides you regular basis of events, what is happening in inside F5. And that are stored in /where/log. And remote login servers are stored in. Also, you can apply filters. So when I say filter, what type of logs you want? So go to logs. You can apply log filters also. Like I want emergency logs, critical logs, emergency. So these are the types of logs which you can send in. So when I say what are the critical logs, when I go to system. So see, all logs are divided. So let's say system log is reboot. So reboot is categorized as a not test alert. So there can be some emergency logs, some can be warning logs. So you can define that here. In log filters, you can define what type of logs you want to send to your remote server. And that log publisher and all that will be given by your syslog team. You don't need to worry that. Basically, you just need to play with this. You just need to go to remote login and call that remote log server. That is it from your side. So guys, this is important. What is emergency? What is alert? You don't need to remember, but you need to know that. Emergency logs are the system logs. System logs means F5 operating system logs. Maybe operating system is going down. Kernel logs, all are system failures. Alert means some serious errors. Or maybe let's say I disabled any pool member. That is admin intervention. Critical, that are hardware failures. So someone was asking whether RMA failure. In that case, you can check these logs, critical logs. Hardware failures. That is what F5 generally checks. Whether hardware is getting fails or not. Maybe power supply, right? Power supply related logs. Maybe power supply is going down. That can also become in that log file. Warning can be just for review. Does not matter much. So that is how you can review the files. Okay, guys. Maybe some daemon related logs. Let's say my daemon is getting restarted. So that is also stored here. Audit log. Someone has done some changes. That is stored in /where/log/audit. Don't need to go much into that point, but basically you need to understand where your, so how, where the system logs are stored. Let's say I want to say system related logs that are stored here. ls-l, there is one messages. So I can grep also, grep messages. So system related logs are stored here. What is happening to F5? See, we changed yesterday boot location. So you don't need to cram it. I will share you one article. Just see this article, K16197. You don't need to remember which logs are stored in which directory. Just refer this article. You will understand. I will show you. See, if you want to see audit logs, who has done the changes on your F5, just go to cd where/log/audit. You can open it. If you want to see any boot load related logs, whether boot is happening or not, daemon related logs, kernel. So kernel related logs are stored here. Local traffic logs, which I'm talking about. Local traffic means load balancer related logs. That is stored in where log LTM. See, system related logs, user related logs, or any user whether it's an issue with web UI configuration. So you can just copy this, go here and just mention cd where log cat web UI. So these are all logs file which are stored, guys. You can just refer this article. It will help you. But most important, guys, for us is this file where log LTM. When customer says that I have an issue with my server or a URL, then this is the important file where /log/LTM. Very, very important. Now, if I want to see, you can just refer that. See, LTM related logs will be stored here. If you want to see GTM related logs, that are stored here. If you want to see ASM related logs, it is here. So they are divided into facilities. Don't need to cram it, guys. Just need to see which component stores. So this file you just need to remember. That's it. If you want to take a snapshot, you can take a snapshot of this. So see, by default, log files are stored in this. If you want to see all users related logs, if you want to see local traffic F5 related logs, you can see that. Run this file. Instead of that file, you can run this file also. Show sys. So previously I was going into that file. Instead of going into that file, you can run this also. I'll go to tmsh. I'll run this file. Show sys log LTM. It will show me all logs. From whatever date it has stored, it will show me all logs related to LTM. What we have done, whether there was any SSL handshake, that all logs are stored here. So that is all stored in this file. Show sys log, you can also. Let's say I want to see logs from today till 2 days. You can mention this. I want to see the range. Like I want to see logs from 29th to 27th of May. I can run this command. But better is, guys, always go to cd/where/log cat LTM. That is best. So how to configure remote login? So this is how. So remote IP is the IP address of your syslog server. Remote port is 514. And local IP, if you want to specify from, let's say I want to specify from, by default, it will use management interface. If you want to use particular other interface, then you can mention that IP. So that was about logs.